Today I'm going to tell you why the pound yen moved over 300 pips to the long side. I'm also going to show you what news you need to look out for the rest of the week and how you can attack the pound yen to make some money for the next couple days. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? I am back for my midweek chart breakdown video. As always, I'm going to go over what happened on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm going to show you what you need to look out for the rest of this week. Okay, first we're going to go over why this big move happened on the yen, or the pound yen more specifically. So one of the main reasons this happened was because of the BOJ outlook report. It's the rate statement for the Bank of Japan and the press conference, the things that were said in it by Governor Ueda. I believe I'm saying that correctly. So the numbers came out at the same as forecasted at negative 0.1%, which was the same as before, same as previous. So that's very important. But what's more important is the comments that they made about the yen. So a couple things. They were very weak on the yen. So being weak on the yen should mean that the pound yen should be going up. And also they mentioned their yield curve and their bond percentage. So we need to go and take a look at this chart here on Japan government bonds. So one thing that they did mention was that they would like to keep a cap on this percentage here at 1%. That's what they said earlier on in the day, but later on there was leaks that potentially the cap could rise to 1.25%. So I could see that here on Forex Live. Don't think long-term rates will come under pressure to exceed 1%. And then what happened was later on, there were leaks that came out and they said upper ceiling limit from current 1% to 1.25%. So we can see that on here on this chart. So currently we are at 0.966%. So right here at 1% is a very important number, and then we'll draw another line up at 1.25%. So this brings more uncertainty into the market because that means that the Japanese government could intervene anywhere in here. And they could end up moving the bond market around, which will affect the Forex market. So it's just something that we need to look out for and expect more government intervention from the Bank of Japan. I saw presumably what we thought were lots of government intervention today. It's hard to say if it was just big institutions pulling price back to re-enter to get better positions for the longs today. But look at all of these spikes that we had today. Major spikes of price. So we had a spike here. This is a smaller spike. But there were multiple spikes like this in the market today that show me that either big banks are moving price around very quickly, pulling price back to keep it going because now they are weak on the yen, so they want to push the pound yen up, or it could be government intervention. I'm not really sure. It doesn't matter too much who's doing it. It just matters that we know that it's happening and that you need to be careful and watch out for it in the future. So how do we adapt our trading? I would be more careful with your stop. So you have two ideas. You either take profit quickly, or you need to have your stop wider and move it more slowly. The second option, you can have a penalty of the government intervening, you losing all your profit and still getting stopped out for negative. So you're taking extra risk there. So if you don't want this extra risk, change pairs, go to the pound dollar. It'll be less volatile than the pound yen will be. I'm going to keep trading the pound yen. I'm just going to be more cognizant of the government intervening and be quicker taking all of my profits and scaling out maybe a little bit quicker or for more. Okay, now let's move on to the analysis here of the pound yen. So one of the major things that happened this week was on Monday and Tuesday, or Monday, we pulled back, we hit the bottom of the range, faked out the bottom, and pushed back up long. So the London session was right down here on Monday. It faked out of the bottom like we were going to push out of the bottom of the range, pushed up for most of the morning, pulled back US session. But what did it create? It created this double bottom here. Double bottom, and this second low here was actually higher than the previous low here. So it was giving you an inclination that the sellers couldn't keep pushing price back down, came back to the bottom of the range, rejected again. And for all of today, we've been trending up based off of the comments from the governor of the Bank of Japan and all the other news releases from them. So Now we've broken the top of the range. So we went from one side of the range to the other side of the range. I prefer that we break the top of the range to the bottom of the range because the technicals support the longs more than the shorts. Because if we look on the higher time frame, you can see that we are still in the uptrend on the pound yen on the daily chart. So what do I want to see for the pound yen? I want to see the daily close above the previous highs here. So I want to see the daily close outside of this black box that I have. This was my previous range that we've been in for multiple days. So I want to see the pound yen close at current price where it's at above this high and this high. If it does that, I will be very bullish on the pound yen for it to continue all the way back up into the previous highs, all the way back into 186 and 186.70, somewhere to retest these previous highs over the next couple of weeks. It's not just going to happen instantly. I mean, it could, but it's not likely to do that. But I'll be waiting for some sort of scenario that looks like this tomorrow, where we get a pullback into one of the previous highs to take it long back up higher. This could be a swing trade if you are a multi-day time frame trader. Now let's go down back onto the 1 hour so we can get a little bit more specific. So these are a couple of the previous highs. And as you can see, price has now closed above on the 1 hour, above all of these previous highs right here. So this is a really important close. And if we zoom out here, we see this green box. Look how many times it rejected out of this green box, and it's finally able to break above and close above. Now in my video, I don't know if it was the last video or the two before that, I was mentioning how tight this range is for multiple days on the daily range, and how I'm expecting a bigger move and a trending move to happen once we're able to break the range. So now we have a lot of momentum being able to break it, and hopefully we get some sort of sustained momentum. So what we could also see is something like this, where we get some chop at the top and then it finally makes the move. So I'll be ready for both scenarios, but for the upcoming days, for the rest of this week, I'm going to be more bullish on the pound yen because we've broken the top of the range. Of course, you need to be cognizant what happens in the overnight session and how that can change your trading for the next that session, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So some scenarios that I'm looking for, like I said, I'll be waiting for some pullbacks in the morning to try and take price long up into this 184.40 type area, if not the 184.80 area. If we look to the left to look at the levels, see this area here is very important at this 35.40 area. Look how many times we've touched into here and rejected back down. And also this level here. I wouldn't say this one is as important. If we can break the 80, I think we definitely can make it back up into 185.80. So I'll just be looking for mostly longs. I'm very bullish on this. So let's see what we have for the rest of the week. Let's go on to Forex Factory. We still have major news. So based on tomorrow's news, we have French bank holiday, Italian bank holiday. Not too important, maybe slightly less volatility because of this. But the main thing that will decrease the volatility for the London session for tomorrow is going to be the FOMC rate statement. So usually when you have FOMC rate statement in the afternoon, the London session is a little bit slower. I'd say 20% of the time you can get a really nice trending morning, but even though we had a trending day today, I wouldn't expect a continuation of that trend. I would expect more range and chop before we trend again. And then we go into Thursday, where I would expect a bigger move to be happening on pound yen because we have pound rate statement. Again, very important. Be cognizant that this news could reverse the entire move that we saw today. That entire long move could just be wiped out based on what they say during this, because this is just as important as the yen news was today. So be very cognizant trading for the next couple London sessions, because we have bigger news later in the day for both Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, I would say there should be more movement during the London session because we don't have major news that should affect the pound yen. That's going to be all for this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. And I'll see you next video. Thank you.